2025 induction class of the Hammond Sports Hall of Fame. The 39th induction of the Hammond Sports Hall of Fame is underway. On behalf of the City of Hammond, Mayor McDermott, and the Hammond Sports Hall of Fame Steering Committee, it is my privilege to welcome and thank you for joining us this evening. And wasn't that a terrific video montage to open our program? Produced by our own Pat Montalbano. So Pat, great job. As most of you are aware, Hammond enjoys a proud sports heritage in the achievements of its teams, athletes, coaches, and others. Tonight you will meet and learn about several individuals whose accomplishments have been deemed worthy of honor in this Hall of Fame. The wall corridor of this historic gymnasium, where many amateur and professional sports events have taken place, are those who comprise the Hammond Sports Hall of Fame. Those walls also portray some of the legendary moments in Hammond sports history. If you have not had an opportunity to walk that corridor and experience Hammond's rich sports legacy, I encourage you to do so before you leave this evening. Several years ago, the look of our Hall of Fame display was handsomely refurbished thanks to the support and desire of Hammond Mayor Thomas McDermott Jr. It has been our practice to invite Mayor McDermott to offer a greeting at this annual induction. Unfortunately, due to unexpected priority, Mayor McDermott is unable to join us this evening, but in his stead, I am pleased to introduce the Mayor's Chief of Staff, Scott Miller, as a pinch hitter for the Mayor. Scott?
Thank you, Wes. It's an honor and privilege to be standing here tonight representing Mayor McDermott and the City of Hammond as we honor some of the best athletes our community has ever produced. Kevin Durant made famous the quote, "Hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard." For tonight's honorees, your induction is a testament to that hard work and dedication. For in our athletes, we see our own potential. Even if we will never be able to hit a curveball, roll a perfect game, or coach a championship, our athletic champions remind us that with enough sweat equity and determination, we too can achieve greatness. So tonight we celebrate your achievements, primarily in sports, but certainly in your life as well. For the lessons you've learned as a competitor have certainly served you well throughout your lives, and I'm sure have been a blessing to those around you. We remain proud of you, and thank you for being part of the Hammond story. Pele said, "Success is no accident. It is hard work, perseverance, learning, studying, sacrifice, but most of all, love." Thank you for sharing that love with us, and congratulations on your enshrinement tonight and all of your success. Thank you, and God bless.
Thank you very much, Scott. It has been a tradition on induction night to welcome back to the Civic Center previous inductees So I invite all Hammond Sports Hall of Famers to stand as you are able and be recognized by applause. All the Hall of Famers in the building, please stand up. Thank you very much. It also is our practice to offer a moment of silence for those Hall of Famers who passed away during the past year. We ask your indulgence for this moment of respect. Thank you very much. There have been numerous championships celebrated by Hammond teams in the annals of Hammond's rich sports history. This year of 2025 marks several memorable milestones. 60 years ago, in 1965, the Morton Governors were Indiana's mythical state high school football champion. This year also marks the 65th anniversary of High's mythical state football title in 1960. 85 years ago, in 1940, Hammond High also won the Boys State Swimming Championship. And of course, this year is also the 85th anniversary of Hammond Tech bringing home the 1940 Boys State basketball title with a reported estimated crowd of some 50,000 well-wishers flooding downtown Hammond to welcome the team back from Indianapolis. It was 90 years ago in 1935 that Hammond High celebrated a state wrestling team championship. And 105 years ago, in 1920, the Hammond Pros professional football team played its first game as a charter member of the American Professional Football Association, which was renamed the National Football League 2 years later. Anybody here attend that season opener in 1920? Just asking. As we all know, it takes teamwork to be successful. To that point, please indulge me while I introduce to you our extremely dedicated and hardworking steering committee. Individuals who serve voluntarily, motivated by Hammond love and pride. As I read the names of those committee members present, I invite them to stand up. Former Gavitt athlete Juan Alba. Folks, I'm going to ask you if you wait till I read all the names or we'll be here till tomorrow. But thank you. Former Clark athlete Allison Buell. Former Hammond High athlete Jeff Colby. Former Gavitt athlete and Clark coach Carol Corr. Former Morton coach Marie Herring. Parks Department staff member Anna Mamala. Former Gavitt athlete and coach Sharon Meyer. Former Clark coach Pat Montalbano. Former Hammond High basketball player and coach Larry Moore. Coach and former Morton Athletic Department staffer Ryan Sosnowski. Longtime Hammond Chiefs baseball coach Dave Sitkowski. And administrative assistant Crystal Miranda of the Civic Center staff. Now, I ask you for their applause. Unable to be present this evening, Tom Bilek, Doug Friend, Kerry Mitchell, and Rick Torres. Ladies and gentlemen, quite frankly, if not for the devotion and hard-working commitment of these individuals, there likely would be no Hammond Sports Hall of Fame. So I invite you one more time to provide them a hearty round of applause. We on the steering committee are often asked, how can someone be considered for Hammond Sports Hall of Fame induction? The first step is to complete a nomination form which has been inserted into your printed program this evening. Fill it out as accurately and comprehensively as you can. Mail it back to us here at the Civic Center or drop it off at the Civic Center office and we'll take it from there. When nominating someone, please note the Hall of Fame's induction criteria, which is included on the nomination form and printed in your program this evening. And now as we continue our induction program, I ask that our induction honorees and representatives sitting to my right here temporarily stand up, leave your seats, leave this platform, and gather around that veiled object there to the right of your platform table. It is at this time that we want to unveil to you the 2025 Hall of Fame wall mounting. Please gather around for the unveiling, followed by a photo from our photographer, Jake Jacobs. And I'm going to invite Scott Miller to come forward again and do the honors of unveiling the 2025 wall display, which will appear in the northwest corridor here of the Civic Center. So Scott, we don't have a drum roll, so you're on your own here. But
3, 2, 1.
3, 2, 1. This acrylic display will become part of our Wall of Fame display, mounting, as I said, in the northwest corridor outside of these walls here at the Civic Center. Kudos to Ray Escamilla of Greenleaf Studios for his creative work on this display. You'll notice, if you were able to see closely enough, that the top portion of this display contains photos and brief bio of each of our 6 inductees. On the lower portion are highlights, or I should say the lower portion pays tribute to the early years of girls' high school interscholastic sports competition in Hammond. Competition began during the 1970s as sanctioned by the Indiana High School Athletic Association, and during that decade of the 70s, Gavitt's Gladiators won 6 sectional and 3 regional titles in volleyball. Pictured is the 1974 volleyball team of Gavitt High School. And now inductees, with that, we've had all the pictures taken? We're good? Okay, I invite you to come back to your seats and we'll move forward with our program. It is my pleasure to welcome to the podium Committee Member Pat Montalbano to present our first inductee of the evening.
Good evening, everyone. I'd like to first start off by thanking all the inductees, congratulating you all. This auditorium is filled tonight for you guys, and it's a testament to not just their athletic achievement, it's a testament to their friends, their family, and the community they serve. God bless you all. Okay. Tonight's first inductee is no stranger to the leadoff spot. I have the distinct honor of inducting a standout athlete whose name is synonymous with excellence in Hammond sports. Michael Carpin distinguished himself as an exceptional 3-sport athlete during his high school years, earning numerous awards and leading the team to remarkable success. His skill on the baseball diamond continued into his college career at Chicago State, where he was a 4-year starter and ultimately set some school records. More than just a talented athlete, Michael was a dedicated teammate who constantly gave his all and prioritized his team's success above his own individual accolades. Michael has consistently demonstrated qualities of a true champion. It is my immense pleasure to welcome Michael Carpenter Jr. into the class of 2025 Hammond Sports Hall of Fame.
Do your best. All right. Thank you. Good evening, everyone. I am incredibly grateful to stand before you tonight as a member of the Hammond Sports Hall of Fame. This is truly an honor, and I would first like to thank the committee for selecting me as one of its newest members. It is not only a testament to my hard work, but also to the vibrant sports community here in Hammond, which has supported and inspired me throughout my career. I want to congratulate my fellow inductees. It is a privilege to be in such esteemed company, and I know we all share a passion for what we do that has led us to this moment. We don't often get the opportunity to take a step back to appreciate how far we've come, and when I look out onto this room, I am filled with gratitude and pride. For every step of my journey, every run, every point, every victory and loss, I had a deep bench of love, support, and mentorship. I share this achievement with all of you, and I'm glad you're all here. One of the most important lessons I've learned is that success isn't just about individual effort. It's about the people you surround yourself with. I'd like to acknowledge my teammates who have shared this journey with me. We fought through highs and lows, and I wouldn't have achieved any of this without you by my side. I'd like to thank all my former coaches. Each had an important impact on my development throughout my career. A special thank you to Coach Delgado and Coach Moore. Your leadership took us to back-to-back basketball sectional championships, and we couldn't have done it without you. Coach Mott and Coach Ridgely, your guidance led us to consecutive sectional titles in baseball and helped us claim the first and only regional title in Clark High School history. Coach Caston, you believed in me and gave me an opportunity to play Division I baseball, traveling across the country and experiencing places I wouldn't have imagined. Each of you challenged me, pushed me, and created opportunities that allowed me to succeed, not just on the court and field, but in life. So much of our family is here tonight, which feels fitting because sports runs deep in our history. From wiffle ball and football games in Rylander to basketball in the alley, sports has always been a part of our history. I still remembering our cousin play at Purdue Cal and sneaking onto the court at halftime to shoot around when we were barely old enough to tie our shoes. This is where it all began. I have to thank Coach NAFTA, Uncle Bob to us, who with endless patience took us running at 6 a.m. when we were just 6 years old. Little did we know he was starting us in cross-country conditioning early. I always looked forward to you taking us to basketball practice at Clark over holiday breaks just so we could play above in the balcony, feeding our need to be around sports. I also want to thank my grandparents, Carpenter and NAFTA, who let us rearrange their furniture to create makeshift courts or fields for whatever game we dreamed up that day. It was even better when our Uncle Jeff joined in, adding to the chaos. My grandparents' support didn't end there. You never missed a game, and that never went unnoticed. Sabrina, my fiance, thank you for being my biggest cheerleader in every sport, and I continue to play today. And a heartfelt thanks to the Guerrero family, whose longtime support has meant the world to me. To my first teammates, my brothers, who were constantly pushing me, and I mean that literally. From living room basketball to paper cup baseball and other crazy games we played, we built our love of sports together. While we've been fierce competitors at home, you two have been my greatest teammates in moments that mattered most. I'm lucky to have shared these milestones with you both, from Little League to high school, college, and even today in men's leagues. My brothers and I owe everything to our parents, who poured countless hours into making sure we had everything we needed to succeed, even when it meant sacrificing their own time and energy. Mom, you were always there, staying up late to wash our uniforms, making sure we had the right gear. You were a true boy, Mom, jumping right in to play alongside us when we were little, running around in the yard and playing pickup games, and showing us that sports were more than just something we did. They were a bond we shared as a family. Dad, even back when you were our Little League coach, you always made sure we stayed focused on the bigger picture of becoming better people, not just better players. You were there for every game, teaching us about teamwork, discipline, and perseverance. But it wasn't always playing by the book with you, waking up before school to play hockey in the basement, or setting up games in the most unconventional places and times, just to make sure we're having fun. You taught us that sports weren't just about rules and competition, they were about enjoying the moment and making memories together. You've all helped me grow, not just as an athlete, but as a person, and I truly cherish this moment. Thank you all for being a part of my journey.
Thank you, Michael, and congratulations.
Thank you.
I now invite committee member Dave Sutkowski to come to the podium to present our next inductee.
In the mid-90s, Johnny Craig was a baseball player at Gavitt High School. He played 4 years there. He played 3 years in the summer program for the Hammond Chiefs. And he played 4 years of collegiate baseball at Johns Hopkins University. I had the pleasure of coaching him not only at Gavitt High School, but also in the summertime with the Hammond Chiefs. Describing JC as a player, coachable, a leader, dedicated, hard-nosed, a tough kid. Exactly what you'd want in your catcher. To prove that, Johnny Craig one time stood up at home plate in Dodgeville, Wisconsin, and basically got run over coming up with the ball, showing everybody he had it, waiting for the umpire to call out. And what happened after that, I won't go any further, but if you go over to table 20, I think they can tell you the rest of that story. I've got a message from one of his former coaches. Johnny, I'm sorry I couldn't be here tonight. Congratulations on your induction into the Hammond Sports Hall of Fame. You were a big part of what we did in the mid-90s at Gavitt High School. Former head baseball coach, Jerry Blastic. I present to you Johnny J.C. Craig. There you go, man.
Oh, Lord.
Well played.
Yeah, go ahead.
Thanks, Dave, for sparing some of the details there. Thank you to the committee, the City of Hammond, to my friends, family, my Bombers boys, my Chiefs and Gavitt teammates, my Hopkins brothers, my college family, Calumet College, and all of you for coming out to celebrate such a great group of people. It's truly an honor to be up here, and I'm humbled to be recognized along with all those all-time greats whose pictures are hanging in these halls and my fellow cohort here. A person doesn't achieve this kind of recognition alone. I certainly didn't. So I want to start by thanking some people that helped me along the way. First, my parents. Mom, my first coach. She's still coaching today. Just come to one of Donovan's baseball games and listen to her yelling from the stands. I can still remember getting my first baseball glove. It was so stiff I couldn't use it. So my mom and my Aunt Sue played catch in the backyard to break it in. I remember watching them that afternoon thinking, gosh, I hope I can throw that hard someday. My mom was always involved with my sports, including being the league statistician for Woodmar boys baseball for many years. I'd always catch some flack from the guys if I was leading in one of the statistical categories. Your mom's the statistician, they'd say. The truth is, she was harder on me than anyone. I had to earn what I got, and I was better for it. Thanks, Mom.
My dad didn't start coaching me until my teen years, and as a parent spectator when I was young, he was never one to question the coach, to yell at an umpire, or to lay into me for making an error striking out. Rather, it was, did you have fun? Did you do your best? Were you a good teammate? And when he did step into the dugout in my later years, he did so for two reasons. First, to support me in something I loved, and second was to spend time with me. He still finds ways to do both of those things today, and I'm grateful for it. I had the benefit of some tremendous coaches. As a Little League player, I played for names like Kazmierzak, Akers, Radowski, and Demantes. These were volunteer dads who loved the game and had some time to teach it. They had no idea the impact they'd have on me, but here I am. When I got to high school, there were a few people who set me on a different trajectory. There was Jim Nohos, who first made me believe that I could be the ball player that I became. There's Dave Perez, who had the patience to work with a hot-headed red ass like me, teaching me the mental side of baseball. In fact, for my graduation gift, he gave me a book, The Mental Game of Baseball, that I still have today. Coach Jerry Blasek, who taught me what the word accountability really meant. He taught us a few other words, but I'm not allowed to say those up on stage. And Dave Sikowski, whose genuine caring, incredible work ethic, and unparalleled commitment to his teams and players stays with me to this day. I can't leave out my college coach, Coach Bob Babb, who's retiring this year after 44 years of coaching at Johns Hopkins University. He's among the winningest coaches in NCAA history and had an indelible impact on my life. So I'm a Hall of Famer. My second induction, for those of you counting. Chuckle. I'm not exactly sure what it takes to get into a Hall of Fame, but I do have a few thoughts on how to live a Hall of Fame life. 3, actually. So I'm going to share those now, primarily for this table of 15-year-old boys here, but if the rest of you want to listen, here it is. First, marry someone who is your biggest fan. A lot of people ask me what the best part of going to Hopkins was, and that's easy. I met Claudia. She's the first girl I met there, and we've been married for 22 years. I can confidently say she's my biggest fan. She's my loudest supporter, and if you know Claudia, she's loud. She's also not afraid to put me in my place, which is part of being a fan. She's honest, passionate, smart, funny as hell, and she helps me be a better person. Second, seek out meaningful relationships. We are relational beings. We're meant to engage with one another, so engage. I have an unshakable bond with my siblings. My cousins are like brothers and sisters to me, and I am blessed to have many close friends, most of whom I met through the beautiful game of baseball, and many are here tonight. My relationships give me purpose, they give me joy, and they give me strength. Lastly, say yes. I know this may not be the popular position these days, but I'm here to tell you to work to say yes. Some phrases you'll hear me say a lot, no doubt. Absolutely. For sure. And my favorite, we'll figure it out. Sure, you can still have your boundaries and personal space. Your mental health is important, but very few people reach their full potential by shying away. So if your boss comes to you with a crazy idea like starting a sport nobody has heard of, you say, all right, let's try it. If you get approached to run for political office, you say, why not? When several families ask you to coach a travel baseball team, say, let's go. If your buddy texts you to meet him for coffee, find the time. If your mom calls you, pick up the phone. If your daughter asks you to be in a musical theater production with her, say, let's do it. And if your son asks for more ground balls after a long day of work, you say, absolutely. You reach your potential as a human being by finding ways to say yes. So that's it. Marry your biggest fan, seek out meaningful relationships, and work to say yes. That's what I call a Hall of Fame life. Thank you.
Congratulations, Johnny. Sounds like you've got the makings of a book there that you've started writing, right? Since 1992, The Hammond Sports Hall of Fame has recognized student-athlete excellence achieved by recent graduates of Hammond High Schools. I invite committee member Carol Core to the podium to present this year's Anderson Peterson Family Distinguished Student Athlete Award to two outstanding Hammond Class of 2024 graduates.
It is a pleasure to present the 2025 recipients of the Anderson Peterson Distinguished Athlete Award. Alessandro Lopez, a graduate of Bishop Noel Institute, competed in track, cross country, and soccer, earning 4 letters in track and cross country and 3 in soccer. Conference honors in track included placing in the 4x800 in 23 and 24, and a regional qualifier in cross country in 2022. She was a captain in all 3 sports, graduated with distinction, and was a member of the National Honor Society and the recipient of the John Wadis Scholarship. She attends the Milwaukee School of Engineering and competes in track and field. I would like to mention also that Congressman Frank Marvan has written letters to both of our recipients. I would like to also announce that Congressman Frank Marvan has written letters to both of our recipients of the Anderson Peterson Award. Congratulations. Thank you. Willie Collins, a graduate of Morton High School, earned 3 varsity letters in basketball, receiving all conference honors in 23-24. Academically, he was 5th in his class, earning above a 4-point average. His many community service contributions included the food pantry, Hessville cleanup, and a volunteer elementary basketball official. He was a member of the Athletic Student Advisory Committee, and he attends Indiana University Northwest, where he competes in basketball, having earned both an athletic and academic scholarships. Congratulations. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Carol, and well done, Alessandra and Willie. Carol mentioned that our local representative from here in Northwest Indiana, Frank Marvan, provided congratulatory commemoration letters to our Anderson Peterson Award winners. He also did the same for each of our 6 Hall of Fame inductees this evening. So Frank Marvan, a Morton graduate, is keeping in touch with what our Hall of Fame is doing. So thank you, Carol. I now invite Juan Alba to the podium to present our 3rd inductee.
So over the past few months, I spoke to coaches and athletes from all over the area, and I asked them all about what made Coach J so special. The first thing that most people said was that he was the loudest cheerleader. But he didn't just cheer for the Gavitt kids. He cheered for anybody, no matter what color or what name was on their uniform. Longtime wrestling coach at Calumet, Jim Watkins, mentioned how when he was a wrestler at Calumet and he was struggling, Coach J didn't hesitate to get down on the mat and work with him. Coach Jay cared so much about his students and all of his athletes that winning was just an added bonus. Neil Demos coached alongside Mr. J for 12 years, and he told me that Rich loved coaching, he loved working with the kids. We would often joke about what we would do if we ever won the lottery. Rich always said that he loved his life and he loved what he did. Then he'd say he'd probably get some new tires, maybe an oil change. That's all. That's how much he loved what he did. He was born to be a coach and teacher. He did it all for the right reasons. No ego, no pride, just to teach and to pass on knowledge. And I could not agree with that statement anymore. It perfectly sums up why Coach Jay was so special. So please stand up and make some noise as we welcome Coach Richard Jay into the Hammond Sports Hall of Fame.
I'm not Richard J. I'm actually his second daughter, his youngest daughter. I'm Susan Thompson. Hi. I'm also here with my sister, Erin Burns. Erin, go ahead and wave. There she is right there. We are here with friends, family. We are here with former co-coaches and athletes. Will you do me a favor? If you're a former athlete of Coach J, you guys drove in from all over the place. Will you give us a wave? You're around the room in various places. There's some. I feel so many Gavitt people here tonight. I feel like I need to do a little Gavitt cheer, but I won't. I promise. Steering committee, thank you for this honor. This would mean so much to my dad. Thank you for inducting Richard J. into the Hammond Sports Hall of Fame. I know the first person he would think if he was here tonight, he would think our mom, his wife Mary, for all the years of love and understanding as a long coaching career. Thank you, Mom. Thank you to all the many people he has coached with, coached alongside, and please forgive me if I leave anybody off this list, but I know I have to say thank you to the late Roland Beckham, the Meyer brothers, Rob Hansen, Bob Stevens, Neil Demos, Don DeBach, Bill Vaught, Tim Seaman, Thomas Noble, Jay Obrego, Tom Emro, Marty Jamrose, many others that have unofficially helped coach alongside him. Thank you to, just here on the steering committee, we've got Doug Friend, Sharon, we've got Dave, we've got Juan. Thank you guys for being amazing colleagues and friends. Dave, thank you for letting him use the Riverside facility all those years for the Gavitt invite. Your patience never went unnoticed. Thank you so much for that. Thank you to the team matmates, team managers, athletes, thank you to your family members for supporting you, supporting his programs, and willing to lend a hand when needed. He always appreciated that. Thank you to the local sports writers. Al Hammond from the Times. First of all, I should say, growing up, my sister and I cannot count how many times we saw Post-Tribune, Hammond Times pop up on our caller ID every weekend with people calling to get the latest results from a meet. And it was actually Al Hammond from the Times who wrote about that back in 2015. And he said at the time, in 46 years of sports writing, I've never had a prep coach actually thank media members for covering his events, always adding, it's about the kids. They appreciate you coming out. And that was my dad. That's why he started his Matt Burns publication. That's why he worked tirelessly to help athletes get he worked tirelessly to help them get the recognition they so badly deserved. And it brings me to whom he definitely would thank tonight. The people who made him Coach Jay, the athletes. Athletes, thank you for showing up every season, for making my dad's job an absolute joy. He loved coaching, and you guys know that. You know that he believed in you. Thank you for busting your tail, trying to just get better with each practice, each race, each meet. Al Hamnick also said about my dad, when it came to his Gavitt squads, it wasn't about my team against your team. It was about good, healthy competition among kids and striving for individual improvement. And you may not have realized this, but if you weren't from Gavitt, once my dad knew your name, he knew your weight class, he knew what event you raced in, you automatically had one more person out there cheering you on, just as Juan had said. You always had that loud, nasally Coach J voice that you could hear about everybody else's, and athletes, we all know that, kind of secretly miss it. But it was also my dad who would find you after your event, and he would give you some feedback and give you some encouragement, let you know he's out there cheering you on. Even if you didn't have the best race, he'd assure you it's part of the process, it's okay. You know, he's looking forward to seeing you at the next meet out there. He can't wait to see you. He's out there, he's on your team, he's rooting for you. And one of his former runners, she actually described him, he was everybody's cheerleader. He was almost like everybody's kind of school dad in a way, and that was who my dad was. It's so true. He wanted to let athletes know that he believed in them no matter their ability level, that you still contribute to the team, your effort matters, and he just wants you to go out there and do your personal best. So coaches, maybe let my dad's legacy be a reminder to you that beyond winning tournaments, state titles, which are amazing accomplishments, don't get me wrong, but remember, you make an impact on your athletes every day, and it's not just with the effort you pour into their athletic talent, but as well with how you help shape them into the men and women they're becoming. My dad did what he did simply because it's who he was. He loved his job as coach. And he was a very humble guy. He never thought he needed recognition. After all, he worked so tirelessly to get the kids the recognition. So he may not be here with us anymore, but I know that this recognition tonight would probably make that very talkative guy speechless for once. So it is with great pride, steering committee, that my sister Erin, myself, and really all the former athletes who gathered here tonight, that we kind of collectively accept this award for Richard J. Thank you.
Thank you, Susan. I think you touched all the bases and hit a home run tonight. Thank you. I now would like to invite Marie Herring to the podium to introduce our next inductee.
Mike Cozy's accolades speak highly of his exceptional skill as a bowler, but Mike's extraordinary qualities far exceed his bowling talent. In the early 90s, the school city of Hammond piloted a program promoting community inclusion for students with substantial disabilities. Back then, Mike and Mr. Isaac opened their door to our students at Bolera on Calumet Avenue, where our students could gain skills in a community setting. Mike probably wasn't aware that when he left and went to Olympia, we took our students and followed him there, where we developed a wonderful partnership. Mike is engaging and kind not only to our students and staff, but encourages building relationships in our community. One example of this is evident on any Tuesday or Wednesday throughout the school year when our students bowl at Olympia. As leagues fill the bowling alley during those days, Mike doesn't give us the alleys in the far corners of the bowling alley, but typically we are in the middle of all the delightful activity. This visibility creates opportunities for conversations and relationship building with other bowlers. Our students are truly blessed. He truly makes us all kinder human beings. Please join me in welcoming Mike Cozy to the podium to accept his induction into the Hammond Sports Hall of Fame.
Thank you, Marie. Wow, bowling, unbelievable. I would like to start off thanking Dan Spitali, who nominated me. Thank you, Dan. Also, I would like to thank the committee. I would also like at this time to congratulate all your past Hall of Famers. And most of all, I'd like to congratulate the class of 2025, which I'm very proud to be a part of. Once again, wow, unbelievable. Who would have ever thought back in 1966 that this young 8-year-old boy whose father took him bowling at Kenwood Lanes in Hammond, that someday he would become part of 3 halls of fame for his bowling career. Not just for his achievements on the lane, but also off the lanes in the bowling industry, that would become his career, his sport, which he would cherish his whole life. I have won college tournaments, different tournaments across the area, city titles, state titles, Bowlers of the Year. I have bowled 300s, 800s, average 233, or better. I wouldn't have accomplished this without help. My coaches, Frank Beslich was my first coach, who would never let me quit. My college coach, Dave Reddick, who stood behind me all the time in college. To my teammates who helped me read the lanes, make adjustments, and told me when to change my equipment. Just to name a few that are here tonight: Ron Johnson, Dave Boland, my college teammate and my best man at my wedding, may you rest in peace, Joe LaBella. Then your most important part is your bowling ball, your ball drillers, Frank Beslich, Dave Norton, Larry Roberts, Mark Kofoid, who is here tonight. Without them, you'd be lost. Growing up bowling wasn't my first love. It was basketball. The only problem was I was 5'0", so bowling was always there. I started working at Pinball Lanes at Hammond at the age of 12 until I graduated from Wharton in 1976. Then again, thank you, Frank Beslich, who owned Pinball Lanes and let me practice for free all those years. That saved me a lot of money. I heard that bowling was a college sport. One of the best colleges for bowling was right here in Indiana, Vincennes University. Not only did they have bowling as a sport, but they also offered scholarships and a bowling degree and a bowling degree in management. Wow, both of best worlds for myself. So what happened? Yes, I went down and I received a scholarship to Vincennes University for the next 2 years. Those 2 years were a great experience bowling for Vincennes. The team and I accomplished a lot in those 2 years. Nothing better than winning a college title in bowling or any sport. I graduated in 1978 and went to work in the bowling industry, which became my passionate career in sport. I've been bowling for 58 years and in the business for 54 years. The last 31 years at Olympia Lanes in Hammond. I also have staff here tonight showing their support for me. Thank you. I would like to thank my bowling family, along with my teammates, past and present, those who have touched my life. Thank you. A few of them are here tonight: Bill and Darnell Carter, John and Tricia Zuclin, Gary Richardson, Joe Puchek, Eddie Ricklinski, whose family owned Kenwood Lanes at Hessel, where I started. I would like to thank a few people who started me and helped me along the way: Frank Beslich, Fran Albee, Sid Rodkin, Barry Deutsch, Jim Sullivan. May they all rest in peace, and thank you. And then there's also Don Rodkin, Jim Wojcik, John Loxis, and Nick Loxis. Thank you. There's my family, my mother and father, Joe and Roseanne. You let me follow my dreams and stood behind me. May they rest in peace. My brother Steve and Mark and their families. My brothers were always asked, "What, you guys don't bowl? Aren't you Mike's brother?" They did bowl, but they weren't that good, sorry. My mother-in-law Beverly Perko and my late father-in-law Wally Perko, may you rest in peace. My brother-in-law Wally Perko and his family, and my sister-in-law Patty Perko are all here today to help me celebrate this event. Then there is the love of my life, my high school sweetheart, my wife of 38 years, Wendy. We were together for 45 years. Wendy passed away from cancer in 2018. She was 59. She stood behind me through the good times and the bad times. She would have loved to have been here tonight. I love you, honey, now and forever. And then there's my daughter. Any Fleetwood Mac fans out there? Me and Wendy were. My daughter's name is Rhiannon. Rhiannon also lives in my shadow. They would say, "Is that your dad, the bowler? Do you bowl?" I never forced her to bowl. Rhiannon was a hell of an athlete for herself. She graduated for CCSJ and is now finishing up her nursing degree. Me and Mom are very proud of you. Keep going after your dreams, honey. I love you. A quick funny story before I go. My dad and I were diehard Cub fans, and he loved to watch me bowl. One of the top tournaments in the area is the Times Classic. This year marks its 75th year. The last 31 years have been bowled at Olympia Lanes. I've bowled 50 of them. I was the youngest to reach the finals at the age of 15 in the Class A scratch division and finished second. My dad would always say to me, just like the Cubs, always next year. Every year I would bowl, either make the finals or cash, but never winning it. In 2013, I became the oldest bowler at the age of 55 to win the Class A scratch division. So I went from the youngest to the oldest. My father got to see it. And now he said, if the Cubs can only follow you and win the World Series. My dad passed away in 2014. In 2014, I became the oldest bowler to win back-to-back Class A scratch division of the Times Classic. I won it for my father that year, and in front of my mother, my wife, and my daughter. What a great feeling that was. So Lord and behold, the Cubs did win the World Series in 2016. Your son is now in 3 Halls of Fame. Not bad for those dreams of an 8-year-old boy. There you go, Mom, Dad, and Wendy. All our dreams did come true. Thank you again for this honor, and congratulations to the class of 2025. Thank you.
Congratulations, Michael. Well done. Within the Hammond Sports Hall of Fame, greatness is recognized in numerous ways. The Richard J. Special Achievement Award is named after one of tonight's inductees, a former Gavitt High School teacher and coach whose passing came much too soon. Coach J's devoted advocacy of those he coached and his advancement of the greatest good through Hammond sports and athletics prompted this award. Throughout the past nearly 9 decades, this year's recipient has made Hammond a better place, devoted to supporting young men and women in all facets of life. This organization has initiated programs and provided generous financial support, including more than $2 million to community youth activities that have benefited tens of thousands of individuals. Among programs and initiatives this organization has advanced are Hammond Optimist Little League and Youth Sports Facility, Woodmar Boys Baseball, various other local Little Leagues and other youth sports programs, and as a corporate partner of the Calumet Region High School Annual Basketball Sportsmanship Dinner. This organization also has supported scores of other initiatives for young people, including college scholarships. During a time in which community service clubs have declined, Hammond can take pride in the ongoing, devoted, and tireless contributions generated by this organization. The Hammond Sports Hall of Fame is proud to award its 2025 Richard J. Special Achievement Award to the Hammond Optimist Club. I invite Club-elect President Dwayne Godbold to come forward to accept the award from Jeff Colby, a member of the Hammond Sports Hall of Fame Steering Committee and also a Hammond Optimist. Gentlemen.
Thank you. And good evening. First of all, I'd like to recognize my brothers that are here. Optimist members, can you stand? Thank you. This is such a tremendous honor. It's a tremendous honor to be here, representing this great club. It's always been our club's mission to help youth by giving a hands up and not a handout. We support not only athletics, but also STEM, the arts, and other opportunities involving our youth. We do most of our fundraising through raffles. Our big one is a golf outing, which I've got to recognize this guy. Roger Ladd, could you stand up? This guy, he raises so much money for this club. And our next one is the annual Smell Fry, which most of you are probably aware of. It's April 26th this year, and it's not just going to be smelt this year. We're going to change it up a little bit. It's going to be some shrimp and white fish. And I got to recognize this guy. He's our great chef, and that's Jimmy Camarot from Freddy's Steakhouse. Jimmy, stand up. Since 1997, the Hammond Optimist Club has given out $2.5 million in contributions and donations. not only for sports. I think at one time we put a lot of emphasis on youth sports, which there's nothing wrong with that. But I think we're trying to venture out now to where now we're giving to the homeless. We're giving now to children who need to eat, who maybe might need a sweater on their back, maybe a bed to lie in. So we're kind of doing that. And we do things like for cancer patients, whether it be children, whether it be men or women. And I think this is what we need to do as a club, to start venturing out more. In our clubhouse, we have a quote. It always seems impossible until it's done. And that's pretty much our club's members' attitude. We're positive, and that's why we're the optimists. I believe the inductees here this evening probably believe in the same quote. I believe they were told that. It's impossible, but they did it. I bet everyone would tell you that. And congratulations to all of you. So on behalf of the Hammond Optimist Club, thank you to the Hall of Fame, to the committee. We're so honored to receive this award. God bless you.
Thank you very much, Dwayne. Congratulations, Optimus. For our fifth inductee presentation this evening, I invite Marie Herring back to the podium.
Frank Kazera is known for his outstanding basketball career at the University of San Francisco. But to let you know what kind of an athlete he was also offered a scholarship for football at the University of Notre Dame. Fortunately for San Francisco, his mother really never wanted him to play football, so he chose to accept the basketball scholarship. Frank had a great sense of humor and was great with comebacks. One time his daughter and wife came back from shopping and showed him what they bought and how much they saved. His reply was, "Think how much you would have saved if you didn't go." Frank was also an avid golfer, and his regular foursome was made up of all his old teammates. One of them, Fred Howell, shared this story. Frank was a starter, and he would say, "I just warmed the bench." At one point during the game, Frank's shoestring broke, and the coach called Fred up off the bench. Fred ran up, ready to take his warm-ups off and substitute him for Frank, when the coach said, "Freddie, give Frank your shoestring." Please join me in congratulating his niece, Nancy Cowgill, who will be accepting Frank Kazera's induction into the Hammond Sports Hall of Fame.
Well, I don't even know how to start. This is the first speech I ever gave, but I wrote a little speech down here. I want to thank Frank Kazera's daughter, Valerie, who lives in Washington, for doing such a great job in getting all this information on her dad's amazing basketball career. Frank was the youngest of 7. His father died when he was 10, and his mother died when he was 19. My Uncle Frank really enjoyed playing basketball and was an outstanding player who never talked about himself, but was always joking around. After graduating college, Frank played for Stewart Chevrolet in California until being drafted by the Army. When leaving the Army, he was approached by the Minnesota Lakers. He thought he was too old for the NBA, so he chose to play on the National Industrial Basketball League. This league participated in the AAW National Tournament every year. At this time, the NBA was young and not active across the country. Frank also played and worked for Central Bank in Denver. Then a couple years later, he worked for Denver, Chicago, DC Trunking Company. He stayed in the trucking business after his basketball career, where he was very accomplished and respected. Thank you so much, and I'm so happy and proud, and congratulate my Uncle Frank Kazera into the Hall of Fame. Thank you.
Thank you, Nancy. During that era of the 1940s and early 50s, there was quite a pipeline of outstanding athletes who journeyed from Hammond to the University of San Francisco to compete in basketball and football and gain a college education. So I guess we welcome Frank to that pipeline. It is now my privilege to invite Larry Moore to present our final inductee of the evening, one Hammond High Wildcat introducing another.
Last but not least, this individual was a 1978 graduate of Hammond High, where he was outstanding in track and cross country. He also was a state qualifier. But what's more impressive is he was on his team members that he was a part of. And I used to watch these guys run around Maywood Park, and Kerry Pinkowski, Rudy Chapa, Dennis Cordell, Dave Conto, Tim Keel. I used to watch these guys as I worked out on the basketball court. And what was more impressive is that Coach Candiano, who was a coach of these guys, he was leading the pack running around the park. And I mean, when I say they ran around, they ran for hours. So it wasn't an accident that these guys were good. They were very well coached, and they had a Hall of Fame coach, and then, Coach Candiano. And it is my pleasure to introduce Ed Schuster at this time. Ed.
Thank you. Thank you, Larry. I got to share some memories of you here in this building. I remember you as an 8th and 9th grader watching you cut down the nets after many sectional championships. So thank you very much. Also, thanks to my... Oh. Sorry. For those who didn't hear, I just wanted to thank Larry and let him know that while he saw me running laps around Maywood Park, I saw him cut down the nets in this building in front of a packed house on numerous occasions through my early 8th, 9th, 10th grade years when Hammond High had a dominating team in basketball. Excuse me. Also would like to thank and congratulate my friend and teammate, classmate, Bob Donaldson on the wonderful rendition of the national anthem tonight. Bear with me one second. I'm truly honored and humbled to be inducted into the Hammond Sports Hall of Fame tonight, along with my fellow inductees. Just over 50 years ago, in the fall of 1974, I started out on the cross-country team at Hammond High.
I had heard about the dynasty that Coach Candiano had started. A couple years, the year before that, as Larry mentioned, Kerry Pinkowski and Rudy Chapa, they had won the first of their multiple state championships. So I decided to show up to try out for the team. I showed up at Maywood Park, skinny kid with my friend Greg Klein. We were in awe of the guys out there. Kerry Pinkowski, Rudy Chapa, state champions. Tim Keogh, nationally ranked runner. Gordon Bonham, Dave Parker. Went out again. These guys were like rock stars to Greg and I, and they couldn't have been more unassuming and welcoming. On that running
out of juice. Might have to shout it out.
Okay. I'll go with no microphone. So on that team, I learned many life lessons: camaraderie, teamwork, perseverance, and especially hard work. Coach Candiano had us working out 2 times a day, before school and after school. 2 times a day on Saturday. Sunday was, well, what most would consider a day of rest, but Coach Candiano, his idea of a day of rest was a 2-hour long run. We couldn't officially practice, but we would all meet, and believe me, it was a practice. At the start of my freshman year, I was about 6th or 7th on the depth chart, but through the lessons learned by Coach Candiano and later from Coach Stevens, hard work and perseverance, I worked my way up so that by the time I was a junior, I was Greg and I were 1-2 on the team. We had a couple of others step up. John Reese, my classmate, underclassman Dave Tharp, Randall Lewis. We had a pretty good team. By the time we were seniors, we were dominating in the state and in the area. We won conference, sectionals, undefeated in the conference, sectionals, regionals. We also learned another life lesson: disappointment. We were favored to win the state championship, co-favored along with Carmel out of Indianapolis. Well, Carmel won. We did not do so well. A lot of us had bad days. But that was Crown Point, who we had beaten all throughout the season in the previous 2 weeks in sectionals and regionals. They ended up second, and we were down in the standings. So that was another life lesson I'd learned: disappointment. I kept at it over the years and tried to stay fit, and by the time I turned 50, I decided I'd start running triathlons. I did, and again, the lessons I had learned in high school: hard work, perseverance. I did fairly well in triathlons and won a few age group in a couple of major triathlons in the Midwest. Also decided to switch to bike racing when leg injuries stopped me from triathlon. And I won a couple of Masters state championships in cycling. So I would like to give special thanks to my brother Sean, who's kneeling at center court right now. Sean nominated me, unbeknownst to me, a couple of years ago, and lo and behold, last year I was informed that I had been elected to the class of 2025. So I need to save my thank yous for the end here. I wanted to thank my coaches and teammates who are here tonight. And forgive me if I've missed anyone. Coach Candiano, Coach Stevens. Coach Brown was going to be here tonight, but he had a little mishap. He was my track coach. Him and Bob Stevens took over after Candiano left. Teammates: Kerry Pinkowski, multiple state champion. Dave Parker, John Reese, teammate. My brother Sean was my teammate as well. Earlier today, a few of us ran some laps around Maywood Park for old time's sakes. So, and I can't be up here without thanking my late parents, Jack and Eileen. I can't think of a meet that in all my 4 years of high school that my dad missed, whether it was in Indianapolis or anywhere across the state, Manchester, he was there. He even arranged, when we went down to the state championships through some business contacts, he arranged for us to go down in a limousine. And my one friend, Donald, said, you guys went down in a limousine and left in a taxi cab after our performance. I thank my brothers and sisters, all 5 of them are here tonight. And last but not least, my beautiful wife Belinda of 38 years, my daughter Evelyn, and son Steve, all here tonight. They've been my biggest supporters and cheerleaders. They put up with all the time I put into training and for cheering me on and all the triathlons and bike races. So again, I'd like to thank the committee, and I'm proud to be here with my fellow inductees. So thank you.
Congratulations, Ed. In fact, congratulations to all our inductees tonight. Can we have one last round of applause for the induction class of 2025? Before we shut things down tonight, just a few thank yous that I want to ask a shout out for. I invite, I don't know if you recognize the great service that the Hammond Central High School JROTC students provided tonight. They're going to be retiring colors. They were so helpful, as they are every year throughout the evening. We thank you for them. Steve's Catering, Misprint Printing, photographer Jake Jacobs. We had good news media coverage. You'll be reading about this in the Times, Northwest Indiana, in the next few days. WJOB was here doing interviews. And of course, Region Sports has been here all night long. And you can, if you look at your program on the back, you can find out how to get to what you just saw tonight, should you want to watch it again. And why wouldn't you, right? So thanks to the effort of Hammond Area Career Center broadcast partners. These students back here are partners of the Hammond Sports Hall of Fame. They are producing a video that you'll be able to see on our Hammond Sports Hall of Fame website. Our webmaster, Robert Teets, all the Civic Center and city people who have helped us. Please, everyone, be careful tonight on your way home. Drive safely. We want to see you again for our 40th induction next year. Thank you very much for coming. Pictures?